There was a popular song in the United States published in 1924. It was called Hard-Hearted Hanna, and it depicted the cold, insensitive, and evil Hanna from Savannah, GA. Well, tonight we've got a Hanna in the meteorological world. It's a tropical storm over the Gulf of Mexico, but this will be a soft-hearted Hanna. It's a fairly weak tropical storm, fairly disorganized, just been drifting around in the Gulf of Mexico. Quite often when they just drift around in the Gulf of Mexico this time of year, where water temperatures are between 85 and 90, they can become big and powerful hurricanes, hard-hearted hurricanes. Well, in this case, the upper level part of the atmosphere, the upper level part of this tropical system was not favorable for growth. So it's stayed a tropical storm, and a weak one at that. 50 mile an hour, maximum sustained winds. At the surface, however, I've checked the observations at airfields, both public and military, on Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and now Louisiana. The strongest wind gust I can find, 30 miles per hour. Now, winds will get a little bit stronger later on tonight as our creeping, crawling, soft-hearted tropical storm Hanna heads toward the north. But sustained winds, 30, 40 miles an hour, that's just about it, with locally stronger gusts right along the coast. There is the threat of some coastal flooding. That's a possibility. Tides 2 to 4 feet above average as the tropical storm gets closer and closer to the coast. So at the time of high tide, from Apalachicola to Mobile Bay, back to Gulfport, and even into Lake Pontchartrain, New Orleans, under a tropical storm warning, down to Grand Island, Louisiana, the potential for some flooding of coastal and low-lying areas. So just keep that in mind. The west end of Dauphin Island, Alabama, will have some light to moderate flooding due to this. But we've seen a lot worse than this here along the Gulf Coast. Flood warnings are in effect, and flood watches also. But I'll tell you, that's a blessing. Lots of folks here have been praying for rain now for weeks, for years. Well, we're finally getting a good dousing. This is great. Tallahassee now over 3 inches of rain. Of course, there'll be some flooded roadways. Intersections will be flooded. Ponding on the roadways can cause you to skid off. So be careful out here. But boy, oh boy, isn't this just wonderful. Perhaps one of the main threats, the deadly threats from this, in addition to the flooding, inland flooding, is the potential for some high surf and also rip currents. So watch it out here, not only just tonight, but Saturday, as our tropical storm Hanna moves slowly off to the northeast. There it is, headed toward the northeast. That's going not only bring some high surf and some potential minor coastal flooding, but also, once again, much-needed rain to interior sections of Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas. It'll even bring rain to New York City on Sunday. We'll have more on your forecast for the weekend next.
The Revolution Massaging Showerhead from Moen. You've never felt water do this before. Create the perfect shower when you get water to spin, twist, and twirl. It will reinvent your whole day. The Revolution Massaging Showerhead from Moen. Buy it for looks, buy it for life.
My seats are a mess. Gum, markers, sticky spray. Have you seen this spray that flies through the air and adheres to anything? Some kind of goo. I don't know what it is either, but it isn't pretty. So I'm a mess on the inside, but my engine is clean because I use Chevron with Techron.
No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Chevron.
Working with kids is my calling, and I enjoy it.
Advanced technology. The applications are endless. That's the thinking behind the groundbreaking Bridgestone Dueler. A complete line of tires for all kinds of utility vehicles.
In Mobile and Pensacola, Florida, it's check out the latest on Hanna as of 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time or 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The center of Hanna right near the mouth of the Mississippi River, and the center point about 29.2 north, 89 west. Top winds are 50 miles per hour. That's a pretty good fix there. Hurricane Center has been doing all sorts of analysis with the tropical storm overnight, and they really can't find much in the way of wind, much higher than that. A couple of squalls going east of the center may bring some winds a little higher. On land, I do know that there is some wind out there running in the low 40-mile-per-hour gust range. We'll talk about that in a second. Pressure has not really vacillated a whole lot overnight, sitting at about 1,003 millibars. The change now, the watch has been lifted east of Apalachicola. Otherwise, we continue with a tropical storm warning from Apalachicola, Florida to Grand Isle, Louisiana. That does take in Lake Pontchartrain as well as Mobile Bay and Pensacola Bay, just to name some of those inner waterways. And as said, there is some gusty wind out there. Pensacola Beach in the past hour gusting 40 to 45 miles an hour. That's the case over by Fort Walton Beach as well. Okay, so where's that center? Well, the center is not here. It's actually here, right near the mouth of the river. And kind of see a little gray spin right about there. That's your center, heading generally to the north, maybe bending a little bit east of due north, probably coming in around Mobile, Dauphin Island later on this morning or around the lunch hour. And once again, the rough weather, the worst of the rain, definitely displaced to the right or to the east of that center. New Orleans, you've been pretty much unscathed. We're getting some rain now around Biloxi and Pascagoula, Mobile and Baldwin County, Alabama, catching rain as well. But by far and away, the heavier rain running from just a little east of Pensacola here. So out on 10 around Milton over to Crestview, heavy rain. Also on Highway 98, some very, very heavy rainfall. Going down below Grayton Beach, running down to Panama City, and all the way into Apalachicola. And look at all that rain waiting offshore. There's plenty more to come northbound as the center comes north, as will all that rain. So Pensacola, Destin, Panama City, it looks like another, I'd say, 3 to 6 inches of rain seems to be a pretty good bet. In addition, there's a possibility of tornadoes out here, too. Tornado watch is now up from roughly the Apalachicola River westward, taking in Panama City, Destin, Pensacola, and Mobile, as well as in Dothan, Alabama, over to about the Bruton area. So watch out here. The possibility always there to spin up some little vortices. Some weak, fast-moving tornadoes could occur. In addition, the rainfall, quite a bit here. Tallahassee, 365. Valparaiso, Florida, 3 inches. Sarasota out there in western Florida, 2 1/3 on the peninsula. And there's Panama City, 2.3. And by the way, there's another area, St. Mark, south of Tallahassee, that has had over a half a foot of rain already. So there are your flood watches, including Charlotte, Greenville, and Atlanta, right on down to Dothan, Alabama, and the entire Florida Panhandle. Where is it heading? Probably inland over southern Alabama, then probably going near Atlanta, then getting into western North Carolina. Maybe starting to accelerate some by that time, and it's all kind of merging in. So watch out, D.C. and Philadelphia, and even New York. Very wet times ahead for you guys coming up on Sunday and Sunday afternoon. Elsewhere, the Caribbean, pretty quiet. Otherwise, just a little bit of rain out there by Lake Maracaibo. Otherwise, we have another tropical wave to concern ourselves with. This one now approaching the islands, coming in pretty quickly. So anywhere from the U.S. Virgin Islands down through Antigua, and for that matter, all the way down to Trinidad and Tobago. Very squally weather. Hurricane Center monitoring that area very carefully. Another area to monitor. That one looks pretty good, doesn't it? A little spin there out around 10 degrees north latitude. So again, initially watching the leeward and the windward islands. Could be a depression here later on today. Elsewhere, we're looking at that system a little closer in. Here again are the islands. That is a band of rainfall coming in. Nothing real organized yet, but the Hurricane Center will likely send an aircraft out there to take a look later on today. Off of Mexico, by and large, things are pretty quiet. Take it back stateside. We mentioned the rain in the Southland, some heavy, heavy rainfall around Oklahoma City, Oklahoma right now, and more rain going into Iowa and Minnesota. Chicago, you're off the hook for now, but watch out here come mid-afternoon onward, I think. There's your rain out in Iowa and Minnesota. There's that heavy rain. Watch out around Oklahoma City.
Urgent. Are you taking Tracleer or Flolan? These drugs are effective treatments for primary pulmonary hypertension. If you've been diagnosed with PPH or heart valve damage caused by diet drugs Fen-Phen, Pondamine, or Redux, then call now. You may be eligible for compensation, but your time is running out. Even if you're already part of the class action, if you're taking TraClear for your PPH, call 1-888-357-1111 for important free information on your health and your rights.
Introducing the totally transformed 2003 Corolla S. With greater performance, it just wants to have fun.
I miss you. I miss the sound of your voice, our late-night conversations. No one knows you like I know you. I've tried to call, but there's no answer. But I'm ready to...
The very latest information. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Kelly, and yes, we have landfall, and that's good news. The system is not going to strengthen anymore, but keep in mind, some of the areas that haven't had that much wind yet, we're going to see quite a bit of wind out of the southwest as the system moves inland. So I'll show you that in just a second, but let me give you the latest from the Hurricane Center. Winds 50 miles per hour, that's primarily in the southeastern sector of the circulation, and those winds will be going down rather quickly once the system makes, the larger portion of the system moves over land. Moving to the northeast at 10, and that motion is expected to accelerate over the next 24 hours. Tropical storm warnings remain posted from Pascagoula, Mississippi to Apalachicola, Florida. And those warnings basically will be shifted to the east probably later today or drop completely as the system moves inland and weakens, but not anytime soon because there's still some pretty strong winds out over the water. Here's the circulation based on a visible satellite image, and I'll put a couple features on there. The center's right over land there. Now, the winds out of the southwest on this side are still pretty potent, and they're coming out of the southwest at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Seas are 8 to 10 feet, so those people in Panama City are actually going to still have yet to see the worst weather associated with the system. Now, there's some heavy rain bands with it as well, and we can look at that on the radar imagery, the circulation center being roughly over in this area, and some very heavy rain had been falling in Mobile Bay. That's pushed to the east and or dissipated, and the good news is it's clearing very quickly behind the center, and that's going to be the case all the way along the center, even as it tracks to the northeast. We don't expect to have much rain to the northwest or southwest of the center. But in the meantime, we have a tornado watch box up. Been talking to Dr. Forbes about it, and he says there's some meso features around and some isolated waterspout potential coming on shore. But right now, the heaviest impact would be the strong rain bands coming in just to the east of Tallahassee and also over some of the other areas. Let's zoom in on that very quickly. You can see some heavy rain coming in here toward the Panama City area, this band in particular, and this has been producing about 3 or 4 inches an hour of rain. Luckily, it's moving to the northeast. And note the rain is now pushing into the southwest Georgia area, and that trend will continue. It will become a rain severe weather event over the next 6 to 12 hours as it moves toward the northeast. And the good news is it'll be moving more quickly, so we don't expect any significant major flooding anywhere along the track as it moves inland, and Dr. Forbes will be covering that severe weather aspect and the flood potential over the next 12 hours or so. The impact we expect to be some rain locally heavy along the coast, wave action anywhere from 10 to 15 feet, and dropping quickly behind the system as the winds to the west of the circulation are very weak, and water levels only about 2 to 4 feet and dropping quickly also behind the system. Now, we're looking at another system out here in the Atlantic moving toward the southern Antilles low pressure center. The hurricane hunters are out there as well, flying around in that, and it's likely to become a depression either later tonight or tomorrow or even over the next several days as it moves slowly to the west, west-northwest into the Caribbean Sea. So that's the hot spot elsewhere in the Atlantic Basin today. As you can see, the Eastern Pacific is very quiet. Let's get back to Kelly in the studio.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lyons, and we will continue to monitor the situation along the Gulf Coast and right through Alabama and Georgia, as we do have the threat for severe weather, and a tornado watch does remain in effect for the western panhandle of Florida on up into southern parts of Alabama until 12 o'clock Eastern time, but this may be extended. We also have flood watches in effect from Florida all the way up into North Carolina. We're expecting a good, healthy dose of rain, but it could come down very hard, so be very careful traveling in these areas. We're talking about locally more than 4 inches on top of what you've already received. Stay tuned for your local on the 8th, followed by Weather Center next.
This program was brought to you by Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside?
presenting a longer-lasting, more powerful high-tech battery for all your high-tech devices. The new and improved Energizer E Squared. Do you have the bunny inside?
Where you headed, son? Memphis, home of Elvis, Chip. I get out here. Wait, don't get out here. You gotta see Beale Street, home of the blues. The Mississippi River. And Uncle Junior's catfish stand. Let's see.
Introducing Lay's newest taste of America, Memphis barbecue potato chips. No one can eat just one.
I know you point that thing, then take chips. Hey, look at this, Elvis. Hello, Elvis.
Presenting the new Gateway desktops. Starting at just $5.99 after a $100 mail-in rebate. So stylish, even the price is good looking.
Get the latest in cool PC technology by calling 1-800-GATEWAY.
Every day, more future doctors, lawyers, and astronauts make the trip home safe and sound. The ride home from school on the wings of Goodyear.
Call 1-800-GOODYEAR or visit GoodyearTires.com for the retailer nearest you.
If you own a house, mobile home, or other structure purchased after September 12, 1999 that contains polybutylene pipe with plastic or metal insert fittings, you may be entitled to free replacement of your plumbing if it has leaked.
Winds gusted as high as 66 miles an hour near the Pensacola, Florida area, and 6 to 10 inches of rain around Tallahassee and some isolated locations south of Tallahassee in Leon County. Doppler radar estimates as close as a foot of rain has fallen across that area. Trying to hit west of Mary Esther, Florida, and trees knocked down near Theodore, Alabama. Now, as the storm continues to push off to the northeast, winds have gusted to 40 to 50 miles an hour in Georgia. The drought areas in the southeast definitely getting some rain, squally winds and rain moving to the northeast. Get ready for your Sunday, as that will help dry conditions in the mid-Atlantic and also the northeast. Here's a look again at the Doppler radar estimates since 8 o'clock this morning. You can see the heaviest rain right along the Gulf of Mexico in the Big Bend area of Florida, picking up quite a bit of rain. Also off the coast of Pensacola, quite a bit of shower activity and more showers now as you head back up into parts of Georgia and also up into the Carolinas as well. Here's a look at the latest on Tropical Depression Hanna as of 4 o'clock, 31.1 degrees north, 87.9 degrees west. Generally about 30 miles an hour, your top winds now. Northeast at 12, the movement, and that's 40 miles northeast of Mobile, Alabama, the present location. Pressure at 2968 or 1,005 millibars. So look at your flood watches across the area, including Georgia, back over into the Carolinas, North and South Carolina going throughout your Saturday evening. Also back here into Florida and also southeastern areas of Alabama. As far as winds right now across the Gulf of Mexico, along the coastline, should say, from around the Panama City Beach area back over toward Destin, Florida, generally gusting at about 29 to 30 miles an hour, good average. Also some gusty winds here along the east coast of southeast Georgia and also northeastern areas of Florida. I want to take you to the radar picture now, showing you the showers and thunderstorms, a line of thunderstorms just out to the east of Gainesville, pushing a little bit closer to the Jacksonville area. Very heavy rain now on Interstate 10 from around Lake City, Florida, all the way back over toward Jacksonville. Heavy rain, too, about the western areas of the Panhandle from Pensacola back to Panama City. Not a great beach day here, as we've seen quite a bit of rain shower activity and also some very gusty winds. A look in the last 12 hours, again, you can see as the tropical storm made landfall, now tropical depression, and look at all the moisture across the southeast. This is great news in the parts of Georgia and South Carolina. In fact, a new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out of the National Weather Service office up in Greenville, Spartanburg. That's for Spartanburg County. You're now under a severe thunderstorm warning against Spartanburg County. Strong gusty winds and some very heavy rain across the upstate of South Carolina. That continues back over to northeast Georgia around Toccoa, over toward Raven County and Clayton. Also thunderstorms building from Macon to Warner Robins down to the south toward Waycross and also Valdosta. Heading back up into eastern Tennessee, we follow the rain up north of Chattanooga along the Cumberland Plateau, heading around the Sequatchie River Valley. Showers staying well to your south now. Knoxville also back on the west side, but expect some more of that rain to rotate up across eastern Tennessee and especially across the mountains of western North Carolina, heading toward the Asheville area as we go throughout the evening. Elsewhere across the eastern part of the state of North Carolina, quite a bit of rain too from Wilmington, also around Fayetteville. We want to take you out in the Atlantic and show you our new tropical depression. Tropical depression number 10 as of 5 o'clock, 10.1 degrees north, 61.5 degrees west, southwest of Trinidad. Winds are at 30 miles an hour, movement to the west at 23. If this becomes a named storm, looking at our list, that would be named Isidore. We'll keep you posted on that, of course, at 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Weather Center's coming up next.
This program was brought to you by Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer.
When something is made with great precision, it does more than withstand the test of time. It seems to triumph over it. Then and only then does it become a true collector's item. The certified pre-owned Acura. A lasting tribute to precision engineering.
Every day, the South wakes up to billions of allergens, from cats and dogs to ragweed and dust. That's why there's Clarinex. Clarinex provides receptor protection to help block histamine. Get 24-hour non-drowsy allergy relief anywhere, anytime. Side effects are similar to sugar pill, including sore throat, dry mouth, and fatigue. Indoor allergies, outdoor allergies, wherever. Talk to your doctor about Clarinex. Ensure
Friendship.
Ensure
Laughter.
Ensure
Tears.
Ensure
Victory.
Millions of healthy people are discovering Ensure. One glass gives you complete balanced nutrition when you can't have foods like these. Ensure
Family. Wonder. Life.
Ensure to your health. Now with lutein to help support the health of your eyes.
Watch my dark circles, puffiness, and wrinkles disappear instantly. Sudden Change Under Eye does it. It's guaranteed to give you these results instantly. Sudden Change Under Eye Lift.
Drink coffee? Look how it stains your teeth. You need Plus White Coffee Drinkers Toothpaste to whiten away coffee stains fast. Plus White Coffee Drinkers Toothpaste.
Technology has neglected your closet for too long. That's why ClosetMaid brings you ClosetMaid.com. Browse photos to see how good your closets and storage areas could look. Select the pre-designed closet system that works best for you. Or use our custom closet design program to create your own.